Hey Girl Scouts, I'm Andrea Peterson. I'm the program specialist with Girl Scouts of Minnesota and Wisconsin, Lakes and Pines. With this video, you will learn how to make homemade masks that you can either wear or donate. St. Luke's and Essentia are teaming up for a Land of 10,000 Masks campaign. This campaign is to bring awareness for the need for more masks to get through the rest of the COVID-19. Also in this event, I have attached a link with information on where and how to drop off the masks that you have made. Thank you and enjoy the video. With this video, you will learn how to make one of these homemade masks that you can donate to a hospital of your choice, or you can wear them around when you are going shopping. What you will need is fabric, elastic, fusible interfacing, scissors, pins, floss or thread, a piece of paper to make your outline with, and then I also have a rotary cutter if you have one, and a cutting mat. And then you also will need a sewing machine. Next, we are going to make our outline. So you're going to need a pen or a pencil, a ruler, and a piece of paper. So the first thing we are going to do is we're going to measure along the bottom, and we're going to measure all the way to 9 inches. So you're going to mark 9 inches and here at the 1 or at the 0. Then you're going to measure up by like the 9, and you're going to measure up to the 6. So you're at the 6, and then you want to draw a line to connect all the way and go through the bottom. Then you want to do the same on the other side. You'll want to start on the bottom and measure up to the 6 and go all the way down. Once you got the two sides completed, then we will look at measuring it across. So you'll go from the 9 to the 6 and then to the 4 to the 6. And the reason we're leaving this gap is because when we do sew it, you will be leaving this gap open when we sew it, so you can turn it inside right later. Now it's time to cut it out. So what you will do is you are going to take one of the bottom side here that we drew a line all the way, and you're going to set it on the fold. So you're going to fold your fabric in half so that you cut and you have one side that's already connected. So in this time, you can either choose to use your scissors to cut it out, or if you have a rotary cutter, you can choose to use your rotary cutter. For me, I like to use my rotary cutter, so I'm going to use that. If the cut's not perfect, it's okay. You will not notice it once you sew it up. Right. After we are done cutting our fabric, you will then need to grab your elastic, and we are going to cut that as well. So you will need, so you can set that part aside once you're done cutting it. You will need any kind of elastic. So if you go out right now and there's not a lot of elastic in the stores, what I've been doing is I will take elastic that is bigger. So I've taken this big elastic piece and I'll cut it down to smaller pieces so I can use more, and because there's no more in the store that I could get. So what you're going to want is either, if you have a cutting mat that has a ruler on it, or you can take your ruler again and you want to measure from 0 all the way to 7, and you'll cut there. So I got 2 pieces at 7 inches. Next, you will cut your fusible interfacing. Now, time to cut the fusible interfacing. So I still fold this in half, but I do not cut on the folded side. I cut on the non-folded side, so then I can place them individually in and connect them to both sides and don't have to worry about the inner crease. If you would like to cut it on the fold, you're more than welcome to. This is just how I feel I like to do it. And if you buy thicker fusible interfacing, you do not need to put 2 sides on or cut it in half like this, but this is thinner. So I like to put 2 just for a little bit more protection. So now we have 2 pieces of fusible interfacing. Now it's time to pin around your mask cutouts. So what we're going to do is you're going to lay it flat like this, and we're going to be putting the fusible interfacing on the back side of the fabric. So you just got to lay it in there. Get it as lined up as you possibly can. And then the same on the other side. Okay. So then we are also going to sew it first inside out. So you'll take it like that and sew it like that. So the next thing we will do is we are going to sew the top part first, and then we will come back after and sew the sides. So you're going to take your pins and you're going to pin around the top. Make sure you pin not only the fabric, but you want to make sure you get the fusible interfacing in. So at the top, this is where we left that gap when we were making our template. And that is so when we sew it all on the outside first, we can flip it in. So I like to kind of put a pin like that, so I know that I have to stop at that point and leave this open. So again, I will leave a gap. I would not go more than a 3-inch gap. This is about a 2-inch gap, so if you go one more, that is fine, but I would stick it between either 3 inches or shorter. And then put 2 more pins over here so it stays. And now you're ready for the sewing machine. Now that we have the top side sewed, we are going to add our elastic straps to the side, and then we are going to sew our 2 sides. So you will open where the fabric meets, and you want to stick it in. Make sure when you stick your elastic in, it does not twist, so that your straps will be the correct way. When sticking your elastic in, you do want to make sure you have a little bit sticking out, like I do here. I have maybe a little centimeter sticking out. And then you will pin that one there, like so. Grab the other side and try to get it as close as you can to the far corner. So once you get them pinned, you will do the same to the other side. Now I have my both sides pinned. Now it's time to sew them all together. Now that we've got all of our sides sewn together, we are going to flip our masks so that our fabric, the side with the color on it, or design, if you choose to do a design, is being shown. Once you've gotten your fabric changed inside out, you will still have an open gap. Don't worry about the open gap. we will be sewing all the way around after we add our pleats. So adding a pleat, you will just have 3 little bumps like that when you're making it. So you can do about a centimeter to a centimeter and a half inch of a pleat. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to grab your pins again, and you're going to want to pin down your pleats so when you sew it, it makes it a lot easier. So you'll pin. I like to pin a little bit farther back, so when you sew, you can sometimes leave your pin in there. So that'll be how deep and how much you want to do your pleats. So you're going to want to do that and pin it on both sides. And then add 2 more. So there should be a total of 3 pleats inside your mask. Now that we have all of our pleats in, we have 3 on each side, I also put a pin where the hole was up top here. So when I sew it, it'll make sure it keeps it tight. So now that we're at this point, we are going to go and sew the rest of our pleats. So we will be sewing all the way around our whole mask. So now that you have your mask sewn all the way around, the next thing that you're ready to do is wear it. So now you can stretch it out and it turns into a great mask that you can wear around or donate to a local hospital or maybe a nursing home, whatever's in your area that you want to donate to. It's a great thing to donate to. So thank you for watching, and I hope that this really taught you and inspired you to make some masks of your own.